Have you ever been in a conversation with someone where they just keep cutting you off? You're sharing something important with them. You're sharing a story. You're in the middle of a sentence and they just go,
"Oh, this reminds me of the time when I went through a similar situation."
and they just go on and on and on. So what they're saying is that my story is important than yours. So shut up and listen to me. Or maybe you're giving them an advice and they just go, I know. You don't have to tell me. Or maybe you're sharing something that's important to you or something that's troubling you and they just say, I know exactly how you feel. I've been through that situation. So you don't have to tell me. That's so annoying and that's disrespectful. Maybe you know someone who does that. Maybe you are someone who does that. I used to do that in the past and it took me a level of awareness to not just patiently listen to others and let them finish, but to also give them my undivided attention and to make them feel heard. I think there's plenty of videos that talk about how to speak, how to be charismatic, how to be confident, how to engage in small talk. But active listening is something that's very underrated. I feel not many people understand that it's an art and it's something that we seriously lack in today's world. And I do understand why this is an issue because not everyone is taught this skill at home or at school. You usually learn this by experience, by socializing. Another big reason is the lack of patience. We live in a world where you can binge watch all the episodes of a show in one day. You can get almost anything delivered to your doorstep by just moving your thumb on your phone. Go outside. The best way to understand how we lack patience is to look at the traffic. People are risking their lives and everyone else's lives just because they don't have the patience and they just want to get from point A to point B as quick as possible. So no wonder people are paying thousands of dollars to therapists because they desperately need someone to listen to them. So in this video, I'll share 3 tips on how you can improve your conversations with your family, your friends, or anyone you care about by just mastering the art of listening. Tip number 1, put yourself in others' shoes. Figuratively. If the conversation truly matters to you, put yourself in others' shoes. Try to understand their perspective by keeping your ego and bias aside. Let them empty their thoughts and then respond after you have processed your thoughts. The goal is to replace judgment with curiosity. Our opinion on some ideas may be black and white, and after listening to someone who has experienced something on a level that you haven't, might make you rethink about that perception and make you curious about it to learn more about it. This is how your mind opens, and these are the kind of conversations that help you grow. Conscious listening creates understanding. Understanding is how you build relationships, build trust, whether it's business or personal relationships. And most importantly, listening shows that you respect someone. Tip number 2 is ask questions. I saw this video of Simon Sinek where he spoke about the benefits of speaking last, especially in a group conversation. And what he said was so profound that I actually wrote it down. The skill to hold your opinions to yourself until everyone has spoken does 2 things. It gives everybody else the feeling that they have heard. It gives everyone else the feeling that they have contributed. And secondly, you get the benefit of knowing what everybody else has to think before you render your opinion. And then he goes on to say that the skill is to keep your opinion to yourself. If you agree with somebody, don't nod yes. If you disagree with somebody, don't nod no. Simply sit there, take it all in. The only thing you're allowed to do is to ask questions so that you can understand what they mean, from where they are speaking, and why they have the opinion they have, not just what they're saying. It sounds easy, it's not. So I think the only time you should be interrupting someone is when you have questions about what they're saying. Maybe you're confused or you just want to clarify something. That makes sense. And of course there can be exceptions. If someone is disrespecting you or they're gossiping or just saying something that doesn't sit well with you, don't just sit there and let them finish. You can't cut them off. You should cut them off and just leave the conversation if you want to, and let them know that that's a boundary that they shouldn't cross. Something that I self-diagnosed in myself was that I would often listen to respond. While the other person is still speaking, I would catch myself thinking of a response, and I think it's pretty common. Sometimes we all do that. That's me trying to justify that I'm not the only one. But sometimes you just have this important point or an advice that you want to give to the other person, and you might forget it, so you just want to say it while they are still speaking. It's hard not to, but it's best to let the other person finish, and then you can process all of your thoughts and give all of the value or contributions to the conversation, given that they are looking for value from you. Which brings me to the third point. Are they venting or they need your advice? Knowing the knowing the intention of the conversation beforehand can save us from a lot of time and energy. This is usually the kind of conversations we have with our friends and family. Let's say your friend had a rough day at work and they just want to talk about it. You can ask them that, do you just want to vent, or do you also want to hear my advice on it? Not everyone is looking for an opinion or an advice. Maybe they don't want you to be the problem solver in that moment. So maybe just listen, be there for them. We all need to vent sometimes. With that being said, we also need to be mindful of the kind of people we surround ourselves with, our social circle, our friends. Because if you constantly find yourself being trauma dumped, getting all of these negative emotions from someone in the name of venting, then it's high time to set boundaries, because your mental health matters more than anything. You have needs too. You also need to feel heard. And most importantly, you're not a free therapist for everyone. So work on being around people who reciprocate that level of listening. And helping someone learn this skill can be the best gift you can give them, because maybe no one taught them that, given that they are looking to learn from you. The idea is to be empathetic and not judge others. I silently judge people when they chew so loud. I don't know why I said that. I should cut that off maybe. A few other things that can help you improve the quality of your conversations is to keep eye contact. It gives them the feeling that they're being heard. You can't just look away and be like, yeah, I agree with you, I'm here, I'm all ears, I'm listening to you. You have to also look at them. For the love of God, keep your phone away. This keeps us disconnected. Don't even keep it on the table, let alone hold it and use it. Because the second you do that, it's a non-verbal signal to the other person that my attention for you is divided. So in simple words, better quality of conversation leads to better quality of relationships. The power of listening is so profound. It can help you negotiate, find common ground in politics, war, marriages, by just listening. It can truly save us from a lot of suffering if you think about it. Listening can also be free education. If you ask me, one of the easiest way to learn, I would say just listen. Listen to others who are worth listening to. Jordan Peterson calls it cheap wisdom, because the other person went through all the pain to learn the lesson, and all you had to do was listen to their experience. People are so weirdly interesting and so much more attractive when you listen to them. They're sharing a part of themselves with you. They have their own unique bundle of experiences and lessons. So I love listening. And if you're someone who's trying to build your network or build a tribe, then listening is the best way to recruit someone in your peer group. So listening not only gives the other person of the feeling of being heard, feeling supported, feeling lighter, it also helps you learn something valuable. So it's a win-win situation in my opinion. So now when I watch a group conversation of people who are not really listening to each other, which is quite often, and they're just cutting each other off and they're just listening to respond, then it's like I'm looking in the mirror at my old self. And that awareness itself shows that there's so much to learn and grow and help others learn and grow. I'll end this video with one of my favorite quotes. It's from Maya Angelou. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And making someone feel heard is one of the best things you can do for them.